What's going on, YouTube? Coming back at you with another video. Okay, so I got the criminal complaint against Dark Low. This is the alleged letter that they're saying he sent. I'm gonna read this all to you. I'm gonna skip a couple parts because it's not really important. But let's start with the affidavit in support for a search warrant. Benjamin Howell, Special Agent, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, being duly sworn, state. He just goes through his background, bunch of not really relevant stuff. We'll keep going down. Purpose of affidavit. I'll start with this. I submit this affidavit in support of a complaint against and an arrest warrant for Charles Sally, aka Dark Low, aka Ron Harvey, who I believe, based upon the facts stated below, violated Title 18 United States Code Section 1512B when he knowingly mailed a threatening letter to a cooperating witness in an ongoing trial in the matter of United States versus Abdul West before the Honorable Michael Bailson, which commenced on November 4, 2019. Sally is currently in custody, having been arrested upon probable cause in the evening hours of November 7, 2019. The investigation and probable cause. I am familiar with facts and circumstances of the investigation through my personal participation from discussions with other special agents of the FBI and other law enforcement, from my discussions with witnesses and confidential sources involved in the investigation, and from my review of records and reports relating to the investigation. Unless otherwise noted, wherever in this affidavit I assert that a statement was made, the information was provided by another FBI special agent, law enforcement officer, witness, or cooperating source who may have had either direct or hearsay knowledge of the statement and to whom I or others have spoken or whose reports I have read and reviewed. Such statements are among many statements made by others and are stated in substance and in part unless otherwise indicated. Since the affidavit is being submitted for the limited purpose of securing a search warrant, I have not included details of every aspect of the investigation. Facts not set forth herein are not being relied on in reaching my conclusion that the requested search warrant should be issued, nor do I request that this court rely on any facts not set forth herein in reviewing this application. So this is the application for the search warrant. United States versus Abdul West, cooperating witness 1, CW1, who is known to me, is a cooperating government witness who is expected to testify at trial and whose name was on a witness list provided to the defense. On November 6, 2019, CW1 received a letter with a return address in Philadelphia from Senator Ron Harvey, which I know to be an alias of Sally. The letter is attached here as Exhibit A. Specifically, Sally is known to be a rapper who posts musical content on the internet. He has a digital mixtape available on the internet that is called the Ron Harvey Jr. Mixtape by Dark Low. The comments underneath the mixtape make clear that Dark Low is from Delaware. According to CW1 and to social media analysis, Sally is a known associate of the defendants who are on trial. The letter was postmarked November 4th, 2019. I have reviewed the letter, which contains several obvious threats to CW1. The author writes, "I'm going sick, be in front row in the courtroom. Me, Cheese, and a few others. I know Cheese to be RW, a known associate of the defendants." The letter continues, "Warning CW1, you will be known as the Rat Bull." And the author writes, "When CW1 goes to federal prison, I don't want you to get stabbed up and start bleeding." I believe that the reference to stabbed up or start bleeding were obvious threats of violence against CW1's person in the event CW1 actually testified at trial. In addition, the letter threatens the rape of a close associate of CW1, BM, so baby mom, I'm guessing. "I'm going to fuck her little ugly, dirty gullible ass, just for you, my guy. I know the true identity of person, and it's all blacked out. The letter also begins, "What's up, Stuart Little?" which I know to be a reference from the famous children's book entitled Stuart Little. Features a character by the name and is a talking mouse. Based upon my experience in law enforcement, I know that the defendants and those involved in crimes refer to informants and cooperating witnesses as rats or cheese eaters, and that the phrases, among others, are widely used to negatively refer to someone who cooperates with law enforcement. Sally's reference to CW1 as Stuart Little is, in my experience, an obvious derogatory name that is clearly followed by threats intended to intimidate and dissuade CW1 from cooperating. On November 7, 2019, the date that CW1 was scheduled to testify, Sally was present at the courtroom prior to CW1's testimony. In fact, Sally has been present throughout the court, or has been present in the courtroom throughout the entire duration of the trial. On the evening of Thursday, November 7, 2019, a law enforcement officer associated with this investigation was preparing to conduct surveillance of Sally's home. While members of the FBI prepared to obtain a search warrant for that address for the items that contained Sally's handwriting, so the items could be compared to the above referenced letter mailed to CW1, while agents were waiting for the search warrant to be authorized and meeting to discuss strategy for the eventual warrant execution at Sally's house, I was present at an Acme supermarket located at 236 East Glenwood Avenue in East Cimara, Delaware. Upon exiting the restroom area of the Acme, I encountered Sally, who confronted me and inquired as to whether I was following him. During our encounter, Sally and I engaged in calm discussion. He was not handcuffed or restrained in any way. I was in plain clothes and did not have my weapon drawn. Sally asked me if I was a law enforcement officer, and I confirmed that I was. I told him that we had a search warrant for him, specifically a search warrant to obtain a sample of his handwriting. Sally then inquired as to whether it was the letter that he personally mailed to CW1, and that he stated that the letter he sent to CW1 was not a threat. Sally acknowledged that he wrote the letter, that he mailed it, and that he was present at trial when CW1 was scheduled to testify. When asked by Special Agent Calvin Lewis whether his intention of the letter he mailed was to express that Sally was not happy with CW1's decision to testify, Sally acknowledged that it was. Sally did not ask for a lawyer during my encounter with him, and his statements to me were voluntary and spontaneous. A search warrant was later executed at Sally's residence, and agents recovered a Beretta Model 92FS 9mm with an obliterated serial number accompanied by one extended magazine holding 32 rounds with no round in the chamber, and an additional 15-round magazine with 15 rounds, plastic bag with 33 rounds, recovered in the upper shelf of the right side closet in Sally's bedroom. I am familiar with Sally's criminal history, and I know Sally has at least one prior felony conviction. He is not able to possess firearms under federal law. Based on my training and experience, people often handwrite notes or other documents to intimidate witnesses at trials against them or their co-conspirators with the intention of preventing them from testifying or encouraging them to testify falsely so as to not incriminate a defendant in a criminal proceeding. Because Sally admitted that he sent the letter, and based upon my review of the handwriting on the letter attached as Exhibit A, when compared against other handwritten letters he has mailed to CW1, I believe that Sally wrote the letter and has violated the federal laws against tampering with witnesses. Conclusion. So this is the letter for the search warrant. They were given the search warrant based on it. But it's an interesting situation. Definitely the fact that the feds are claiming that Dark Low admitted to writing this letter and that he also allegedly, and this is all alleged, this is just what they're saying, that he also allegedly had a gun at his house, but he's a convicted felon. I'm wondering if that's the case, why he was not charged with the possession of the firearm at this time. It's definitely an interesting situation. I find it a little bit questionable just because the fact that we know the feds wanted to wrap everybody up in this case, I'm sure. I highly doubt they wanted to leave anybody from OBH out. They just didn't have anything to drag Dark Low in. This is exactly what they needed. So hopefully for Dark Low, this is some bullshit and it gets worked out in court as such. His lawyer's able to, give him the proper defense. We'll see how this plays out moving forward. I just wanted to share with you this information. Definitely take a second, hit the like, subscribe, share. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Dark Low actually sent this letter? Leave some feedback in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. I appreciate you watching. Peace.